Canada, this land of massive proportions and uncharted wilderness, has secrets below the surface still locked away from even its native inhabitants. The stunning vista of the Rocky Mountains and the vast timberlands of British Columbia, discoveries in 2025, have revealed an entirely more brutal reality. Beneath the veil of snow and stone, Canada is in dynamic flux, transforming and displaying evidence of stirring to life in places. Join us as we look into 10 incredible recent finds that are sending shockwaves through the scientific community. From the recently found volcanic system beneath British Columbia to enigmatic river course shifts in Ontario, buried ancient structures under glacial ice, and seismicity deep within the Canadian Shield. But here's the twist: scientists say these discoveries are only the beginning. One revelation, hidden beneath British Columbia, may dwarf them all. Could Canada be sitting on a ticking geological time bomb? A supervolcano may be brewing beneath British Columbia. Did Canada possess a Yellowstone of its own? Recent geologic discoveries in British Columbia render that possibility a reality. Geologists employing advanced satellite technology have detected extensive ground movement in a remote coastal mountain region. Initially attributed to tectonic stress, further investigation discovered something more sinister: magma movement deep beneath the Earth's surface. A multi-institution research program has verified multiple foreboding signs. High gas releases, including sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide, have been observed. Persistent earthquake activity is observed at depths of 7 to 10 kilometers. Satellite imagery and drone-carried heat sensors observe sharp heat anomalies, showing the slow rise of a magma chamber. "It looks like the onset of a magmatic system wanting to rise," said a volcanologist with the Geological Survey of Canada. The big questions are, what's its rate, and what's its actual size? Follow-up gravity measurements record minute density variations in the crust, indicating the presence of an inflating melt zone. Temperature and anomalous isotopic signatures from nearby springs provide additional evidence for magmatic activity at depth. A long-dormant region now requires urgent hazard reassessment. Scientists suspect it to be an unknown caldera system associated with the same subduction processes that have formed Mount Garibaldi and other stratovolcanoes in the region. If the magma chamber continues to grow, it may have the potential to initiate hydrothermal explosions, lava dome growth, or, in more extreme cases, Plinian-type eruptions. Historical accounts for the location are sparse because of the site's isolation. Traditional indigenous oral histories, however, recount ground shaking, strange fogs, and thunder sounds within the area, which may be evidence of former eruptive stages. If this recently discovered chamber keeps expanding, Canada may be confronted with a geological threat rivaling the most dangerous volcanoes in the world, one which scientists now race to follow in their entirety. But just when scientists thought the magma chamber was the greatest danger, nature revealed another shocking twist, one capable of rewriting landscapes overnight. What force could reverse an entire river's flow? Yukon's rivers are reversing flow again. Canada's Arctic wilderness witnessed an abrupt climatic shift that grabbed headlines in 2016. Researchers tracking the Slims River basin noticed a strange pattern in April of 2025. The river water flow rate decreased dramatically before its flow direction was completely reversed within a matter of days. The prime reason for this phenomenon was the rapid melting of glacier. The Cascale Glacier, a major mass of ice that provides water to the area, kept posting record amounts of melting. New subterranean tunnels under the glacier started diverting meltwater off the classic Slims River course, channeling it into the Elk River basin hundreds of kilometers distant. This alteration is much more than a temporary wonder of hydrology. It portends a fundamental change in the ecosystem. Satellite photographs and overhead photos taken on site attest to widespread drying of wetlands, and formerly dormant floodplains lower down the Elk River have been subjected to sudden reactivation. A specific impacted lake, traditionally boasting a healthy regimen of migratory birdlife, dropped more than 40% of its volume within some months. Scientists have referred to this effect as river piracy, reflecting the increasingly unpredictable behavior of climate-affected geological processes. Indigenous communities were forced to adapt in the first place. A number of First Nations towns, whose local economies are based on fishing activity, have witnessed radically altered fish migration patterns. Furthermore, a hydroelectric generating station constructed in the 1990s is now operating at just 60% capacity due to diminished water flow. Glaciologists predict that numerous other rivers across the Yukon and Northwest Territories share the same fate. Many small tributaries already show preliminary signs of being diverted. Scientists are using advanced technologies, such as LIDAR and subglacial radar, to determine the most susceptible basins to being captured by competing water systems. While events are unfolding in real time in Canada's north, we are forced to rethink river dynamics in an increasingly speeding up, warm world. Mysterious seismic hums beneath the Canadian Shield. Below Canada's prehistoric geologic bedrock, researchers found an otherworldly vibration that is felt and not audible. It is something emanating from under the Canadian Shield, a 4-billion-year-old titanic accumulation of ancient rock extending over Quebec, Ontario, and Manitoba. Geophysicists found this periodic low-frequency seismic wave, which they called the Shield hum. It thumps rhythmically every 7 minutes of each 24-hour period, something unprecedented in local geologic records. At first, scientists had taken either mining work or groundwater movement as probable causes. Later research eliminated both of them. Machinery vibration certainly wasn't the cause, and no significant bodies of flowing water were in the area. Some scientists speculate this could be proof of a slow-slip fault slowly releasing pressure inside the rock, a process intermittently observed before large earthquakes. Some attribute it to a much broader source, movement in Earth's mantle pressing on the crust. Ancient cities frozen under the ice. An extraordinary finding occurred when doing a fairly unexceptional ice core drilling expedition. While scientists were drilling, archaeologists recorded the use of people just south of the permafrost line, near the 300 centimeters or 100-foot mark. There were many notable artifacts found that signified human activity, including charred wood fragments along with deposits of burnt charcoal. On the spectrum of objects, the artifacts that stood out the most were the intricately crafted tools made of bone and ivory that exemplified early human production. Using sophisticated ground-penetrating radar, researchers discovered a pattern that appears to have been intentionally created, ranging beneath the ice cover. The patterned terrain suggests there are relics of dwellings, pathways, and ceremonial earthworks indicative of what could be ancient-type dwellings or other structures. The age of the site is reaffirmed through radiocarbon tests, dating back to over 5,000 years old, potentially older than other Inuit settlements and indicative of connections to either pre-Dorset peoples or to a new civilization that is separate from Inuit. The fact that the items have remained preserved is largely due to the uniform conditions of deep freeze that kept them in a stoppered state.